spicy maybe for us to look over. So we'll see how that all unfolds. Definitely a lot of eyes need to go over towards Poise to see what he has to do, especially considering that Cloud9 Blue is going to start things off on offense. So maybe kind of speak to me a little bit as far as what you're expecting maybe for executions when it comes to Poise and his ability to kind of bait out maybe some rotations based on sound cues and teleports.
I'm just kind of looking out for gate crash plays here. Again, gate crash inside teleports. Fake outs can activate the teleporter as well. Things like that to really, fake information. So, we'll see if Sentinels fall for any of the shenanigans. Obviously, Viper being played mostly into the showers. This all from the Viper, this toxin screen, pretty standard. Straight away, just cutting off showers.
That's actually some really valuable information from the Boombot. Aldrone will also now be sent out offensively. Not going to see too much. You see that gate crash moving forward over towards Lamps, but it's actually going to be Floppy mid-map to secure first blood for the offense. So maybe a little bit of extra flexibility for them to work with here, knowing that Sentinels will likely have to rotate some defenders over just in case this is a B play.
Shazam down as well means for any potential retake, it's just going to be rough without that recon. A lot of utility being spent over towards A currently, and that's a spike being planted. So back we come, Sentinels. They know it's not B.
Look at the lineup too. You've got the barrier orb blocking off this plant just from showers, and beyond that, After can try to clear space with that toxic screen. Stops the first one forward, gets the counter trade. But now it's just down to can they actually win the gunfights when they matter most. Mitch trying to hide into a poison cloud and largely no successful kills whatsoever. Not the greatest flash we've ever seen from Boys. That'll be the end of him, and Sentinels, nice retake there to get the first pistol.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of teams don't really play this Yoru. The self-flash there from Poise, not going to be helping him out. Probably isn't going to win the 1vx scenario anyway, but you see the plant quite aggressively just outside of showers. They use the wall for that. The issue is they're playing very close to a toxin screen, and you see Sentinels getting to use this toxin screen for the retake as well, and notably, the toxin screen puts the spike kind of in POV, in line of sight of Sentinels, and kind of in their favor as well. So they get to sort of walk up to the spike for free, drop the screen down, and then shoot out the rest of C9. So victorious round going the way of Sentinels. Early pistol being taken. Fire-ups across the board for Spectres. 6 the only one on the Ghost.
First look here for Cloud9 as far as what they might want to do over towards B. So the fake out was used to move through over towards the entrance to Hookah. They're trying to play with sound as much as humanly possible. Shazam going to be tested, but Tens is there for assistance. The Shockbolt actually finds a lot of damage, and Shazam was able to follow up to get the second elimination. Leaf will find one in response to keep the play maybe alive through B long, but you see the spike rotating over and playing to the middle of the map, likely towards A.
We'll see if Leaf wants to make a teleporter play as well. He'll maybe just back away, actually. This is going to be an A finish. Pretty certain about it at that second. Floppy pretty deep in towards showers. You have Mitch over towards short as well, just playing for the timer, seeing if they can have a couple of Sentinels rotate over. Would like to see Leaf maybe try and bait some of that, but he's out of util. That's the biggest issue.
Tens does not want to give up the single. Long is going to get a 1v1 versus Leaf. Our players to watch squaring off early. Tens coming away the victor here. Floppy, long range, able to tag up Sick just a touch. But
Zom's flanking.
Not a lot that they could do. Dapper, Sick, able to find the elimination. Spike down to the ground. No chance for Sentinels to get, or pardon me, for Cloud9 Blue to do too much towards that attack after losing the first blood.
Yeah, I mean, both players on B there. You see Zoms pushing down ramp. You see Tens obviously going towards long, getting the kill on towards Leaf, and they know it's not B. At that point, A defenders just being prepared. Only a couple members alive. Cloud9 anyway. Going to set up a bit of a one-way here for Dapper. Same toxin screen though. I mean, A is pretty locked down with all the utility coming through from the Viper. Must be the first proper gun round though coming through from Cloud9, so a lot of expectations for them to be able to take away this round.
It's interesting setup here for the Yoru of Poise. Fake out and some motion over towards showers, but he's got the gate crash set up to go back over towards B well, which will be scouted out by Shazam. Sees one, gets the tag. Leaf trying to throw a shoulder in. That'll be enough information to Shazam to back down. And man, I'll tell you, Cloud9 is putting a lot of pressure all over the map with all of these extra sound cues, but largely you just need to find them some sort of success to actually get onto a site so far.
And Zoms has Hookah really locked down as well. I mean, look at all the stars over there. Currently, Leaf is going to try and get entry over towards elbow side of things. It's actually clear for now. Shazam's moved away. Zom still has window though. As long as Zoms has Hookah, this is a big threat.
Able to lock down the first shots. Also sees Poise stuck behind the container, but Poise exiting away does find a trade. So 4v4 we go. Kills starting to come through on the retake though in favor of Sentinels. The post plant setup for Cloud9 Blue will be stacked over towards the Octagon in the back, of which Zeta is able to find one. The power for Sentinels are fully here. The kills are coming through. Mitch, the last one left alive. forced to go to the reload. No chance to get any more eliminations beyond that, and Sentinels stay flawless so far in their D.
And that's a massive round coming through from Sentinels. 3 in a row, including that gun round that C9 had. They get to pick up the weapons for free now. And Zom's full hookah control. I mean, at this point, you didn't see Cloud9 really take control of Elbow. All they had is Octagon. They had Long and Octagon, and that's it. Obviously couldn't make their way towards CT. Just Zom's getting that initial kill, putting the damage onto, who was it, Leaf as well. Poise, I mean, it really makes things a lot more difficult for Cloud9, and this retake just completely surrounding the angles over towards Long, and that's all that Sentinels needed to do because the rest of the map was clear.
So Cloud9 Blue down 0-3. One of the biggest things that they've found success with throughout this tournament so far is their efficiency on full buy rounds. So that's going to have to be something we kind of keep our eye on as they move forward. Again, we don't have a lot of statistics to work off when it comes to buying because throughout the VCT in whole, that's stage 1, stage 2 combined, both of these teams have only played it 3 times each. So there's not a lot to go off of here. But one of the staples as far as the economical advantage throughout this tournament is that Cloud9 Blue largely dominates that conversation. That's not been the case so far. Pens locking down an angle will find the first blood onto Mitch. Fakeout was a part of that. It's not going to result into too much pressure here for C9 as they're pushed right back into Spices and right into the waiting arms potentially of Zoms. There's one. Going to find himself a second. That's the spike. Looking for the third. No. Poise will at least find one response, and as Zeta gets another, this is still doable with this weapon in the backside that Poise can pick up for free.
It's going to come down to Shazam because at this point, yep, Shazam up for it. We'll find the kill. One left remaining. Spike on the floor. Just Zeta. No gun. Gets pinched through the teleporter. Sickle cleaning it up, and now 4 on the board for Sentinels. It was obviously versus just an eco from Cloud9. 2 members died on the side of Sentinels, so a little bit of damage done. Just keeping Sentinels honest for now into the rebuys. Speaking of rebuys, here's a big round for Cloud9. If they got to take this round, otherwise it will be a lot more momentum going the way of Sentinels. 5-0 start for Sentinels would be pretty devastating for Cloud9.
Especially considering that this is Cloud9's pick, right? I mean, they're the ones that are trying to throw some strangeness into this map pool. Granted, it is still early, and if you were to go back and to look at the only times that, you know, we saw the Sentinels team play this map, you had to go all the way back to the Ignition Series era when they played this map largely as their main focus. Their defensive side was by far their better one, so that is something to be said, but again, that was nearly a year ago, so take from that what you will. Regardless, Cloud9 Blue, who've been trying to kind of finagle this Sentinels defense, have largely not found a lot of success when it comes to first bloods yet.
Just by the way as well, small interaction there, but you did see the boom bot being triggered. So Poise, job on the fake out there. Gate crashes onto the other side of the map, so instantly gets to disengage back towards B where they want to go through. A lot of stars to get through though, and look at the fast rotation. Shazam knows he's on his way over. At this point, Sentinels will have 3. Now got to start dropping down. Some of these stars, dimensional rift being played. Poise going all the way to the backside.
He's going to find a lot of information off this, but again, there's not a lot of interactions that are favoring Cloud9. It's a 3-for-2 exchange favoring the defenders. Sick still has the showstopper, pushes that one out for an elimination. Mitch trying to find trades, but can only walk away with 1. So once more, Sentinels defense holding solid, and they've only allowed this Cloud9 Blue team to plant, what, twice so far?
Yeah, I mean, like Sentinels, they fast rotate over. Shazam's already there. The dimensional rift isn't going to get a lot of value. He's trying to go towards the back, but he's instantly on the slow orb, and you know, he'll get the 1 kill, but instantly gets traded. Sicker has showstopper. So another successful round for Sentinels overall. You're just not seeing these successes on the buy rounds through from Cloud9 into another eco here. Mitch is expected. That's all they can really hope for. Outside of something done with the Hunter's Fury to get an opening frag, if they can pick up a couple of guns, it would be nice. But at this point, Sentinels have snowballed very effectively in this first half.
Another situation where Cloud9 Blue misses a chance to work with that full buy situation. So now they're back on the pistol upgrades with Mitch, who has been able to properly afford an SMG. Shazam once again tested. He's been so good at getting out of here for free though. And how about that? Not just for free, he also takes first blood with him. 10 rotating over. He's gonna find himself 2 good patience for the 3rd. Gonna use the double dismiss, knowing that Zeta is still playing the same angle. There's really not a lot that he's gonna be able to do from here.
Yep, this should be a flawless. Zeta will land a headshot, but Sick will clean it up. So, economy looking safe. All guns being kept. A couple of pistol upgrades maybe. And another buy round for Cloud9. Now, if they lose this one, Sentinels will have claimed that first half. 7 rounds. No chance for Cloud9 to take it anymore. It would take quite a monstrous effort anyway just to make some sort of comeback. I mean, what can we expect of Cloud9? Maybe 4 rounds? I mean, I think 6 at the time being would be quite a lot to ask for. So I think 5 would be best case scenario. 4 would be a little bit more realistic. But even 3, I mean, you know, at this point, you're just not really seeing, unless Cloud9 can really get their ball rolling off this buy round, and it's going to be hard to walk into A with the Viper Spit already being committed.
You do see the fake out coming through, so it's actually going to be Dapper backing up a little bit to play. All the meanwhile coming through Hookah. Tens with a fine 1. Paint Shells will grab a second. I was about to say, this is a must-win round here for the side of Cloud9 Blue. They used the Hunter's Fury early, but they really don't find too much of anything. So you get to a 3v3 after the trades come through. The take out of the B site looking largely successful. The barrier orb will keep them safe from elbow. And even beyond, I was about to say, Mitch does have a resurrection that should be largely free for him to grab. So now it's a 4v3 the other way. And, well, Cloud9 still not on the site for a plant yet. They're still waiting for the perfect opportunity to make a go call on this execute.
Yeah, it's just been too much utility played. Poison in a really great position, though. First contact for sure. That's unless maybe if Mitch gets spotted and the spike is still in there. 40 seconds roughly remaining, so there's time to play with. They could even cancel here. They can go quiet and force Sentinels to rotate, but here we go, straight in 10 to the Empress, getting a bunch of kills. It's actually 6, picking up 3 so far. Can Poise respond in any kind of way? It's 2 versus 2. Dapper will be there. Round goes the way of Sentinels, and we got 7-0.
That's absolutely brilliant coming through there. Just the pinch setup between, you had Sick from one side, Tens on the other, and you just wait for that barrier orb to fade away. And, well, hey, you dismiss, you kind of use that Reyna ability just to kind of finagle with them a little bit and get them into a position to kind of bait and switch each other from opposite angles. Beautiful stuff coming through. Small tech pause so far, but hey, we got to get to the conversation point here of Cloud9 Blue coming up empty so far on these attacks, and this is where they've largely been, I mean, I'll be honest, pretty successful. Their attacks when we saw them play on maps like Haven have been really, really good, and we're not seeing it really come through here. Those executes that we were kind of watching over and kind of crediting the polish, not nearly as strong on a map that, again, both teams largely unfamiliar with when it comes to Stage 2.
I'm looking at this defensive setup from Sentinels, and really you have Viper basically locking out all of A. Got a one-way smoke on the box over towards short. The very typical toxin screen going all the way in towards showers as well. So if you don't want to be playing in towards that, you go to B. But what happens at B is Zom's got all the stars there. You see the paint shells kill from Sick, by the way. That was actually through the teleporter. So
yeah,
catching everybody in Hookah. I mean, we're just lobbing as much util as we can into Hookah. Whether that be gravity well, slow orbs, you name it. Combo that up with the paint shells, and that's going to give you free kills. So it's been hard for Cloud9 to go either side. A is difficult because of Vapor. B is difficult because of Zoms on the Astra. And really, both sides are just impenetrable.
It's just interesting. There are so many questions, and I think that people are probably considering and theory crafting in their mind when it comes to the composition difference that we see from both teams. I mean, the first and foremost is the fact that we're seeing Yoru in North America for what has largely been the first time through major squads overall in North America. And I would say so far, we haven't really seen a lot of success off of. You see what he's trying to do, though, right? I mean, it looks like Cloud9 Blue are just trying to pull resources as much as possible off of using things like the fake out, throw some numbers over towards A, and then use the gate crash to go right back over to B quickly. And they're trying to spread Sentinels thin and almost over-rotate them. But that said, Shazam has been so good over towards this B side, essentially single-handedly reading the information and then calling for the adequate resources required to hold.
I don't think the fake out's really going to be enough. I mean, at this stage, It's like every single fake out that's been played, it's so obvious. I mean, Sentinels aren't going to fall for it. They see the footsteps come across. They're like, yep, you know, you're playing Yori. We get it. We understand. We're also showing now why Yori just doesn't get played by anyone except now. I mean, the only other team notably that played Yori to me, at least in North America, has been NRG. That was maybe even a while ago now as well. So it's not been the best run for Euro so far, just overall in the competitive scene, unless you're looking at Europe, rather.
So much information off of this tag from Shazam, although the counter will be there from the Owls drone offensively. Poise trying to make an early call, but 10 still from this back angle. In the defensive side, and Screams has been free. The gravity well comes through. You thought Psalms maybe gets a lineup, but
oh, the dismiss
still finds one. The dismiss is able to keep one alive. 10 retakes the fight. Now the overheal. Floppy stuck in a corner, nowhere to go. And Sentinels, they might need to reconsider why this map is not in their pool and played more often. This defense has been convincing, largely from Tens and Sick. Already between them, they're 25-5 combined.
And that's the thing as well, because usually, you know, if Sentinels kind of struggle, one of them will struggle, and then, you know, Sick might put everyone in his backpack, or Tens will be playing the Jet and he's carrying with the, you know, the Blaze Storm or anything else, and Sick's kind of taking a bit more of a backseat. when you have both Sick and Tens online together at the same time, and they're neck and neck in frags, and both mega impact, and you know, they've been playing across different sites as well. How many first frags has Tens had so far? And you can't trade them because he just dismisses away. And usually, okay, if Rainers don't perform well, they're not going to get the dismisses. You will get the frags. But here, Tens is on fire.
Well, now Cloud9 back on the pistols with just Zeta on an SMG. Shazam again, can read the information, and he's quick to throw out utility if required. The help is just so quick to get here.
Oh, what?
Leaf will find a one-tap just as the Nebula was starting to envelop this front end of Hookah. But now Sick has rotated in, and Leaf actually is able to find another, so now the flash comes through. Boyd's on the way forward. Nice one-tap here, and looking good for a Drifty, but Dapper is in the way, finds 3. Leaf does the same. Showstopper comes right through, Ten's able to respond. Now the dismiss gets the information on Floppy, wants to take the angle, even jump shotting with the classic, maybe just to find the last shot. Clear comes through, but Floppy peeks wide, and the Thrifty's good from Cloud9 to get on the board for the first time.
I mean, that looked like, you know, for a while you're thinking the Thrifty's happening, Cloud9 to get on the board. Dapper gets 3 kills. What on earth is that? Tens will completely shut down Leaf's Showstopper. It comes down to a 1v1, you're thinking, this is happening. This is going to be Sentinels clutching up really, really hard. And Leaf opens things up beautifully. I mean, look at these tabs. Poise as well adding to the mix. Zoms, I think, was even stunned up, but it comes down to Floppy finding just the timing. Tens tries to throw out the lair, and Floppy up to collect the headshot. So, Sentinels, they will finally drop that round. Floppy, you can really thank him for that one for C9. It nearly goes back the way of Sentinels again. Viper Spit being played in. And once more, Cloud9, they're thinking, maybe A is just not it.
Yeah, it's just going to be so tough, you feel like, to hit this just from Showers, especially with the toxic screen that's going to be cutting Showers in half. Well, Dimensional Rift will be used, and, well, they will see Dapper inside. The Snakebite comes down, though, and Dapper still is able to find first blood, so that's a full ultimate use for Poise. He's not going to see too much with it. Goes immediately back to the gate crash to get safe, and it does technically bait out this Showstopper from 6. So he's not going to find anything with this, but numbers still prevailing for Sentinels defense in a 5v4.
And we're just training ultimate for ultimate here.
Yeah.
The Viper Spit gone, though. Actually, it might be, because you had Dapper kind of leave for a little bit, so yeah, the Viper Spit has fallen at this stage. That's not bad for Cloud9 at all. Poise, let's go down in Tens, and once more dismisses away. Sentinels are here. Cloud9 Blue trying to commit to this one. Starting to lose a bit of time, and they can't walk into sight at all. They can't even plant. All their members are dead. It's just down to Floppy. The couple of stars. 1 versus 4, not really looking the best.
Just winning their one. Sentinels time and time again. Dapper for 1, Tens for 1. And again, it's just every single time you start to see Cloud9 getting the legs to go for an execute. And to be fair, their timing has been pretty solid when it comes to hitting with at least 3 or more members into the face of 1 or 2 Sentinels defenders. They're still just not coming on top of the trades. So Sentinels find themselves now up 9-1. The economy goes right back down the drain for Cloud9 Blue. And well, you were kind of framing up the anticipated number you're shooting for here for Cloud9 off of the offensive half. It's going to dwindle below your expectations here, Avril.
I mean, really hoping for the best. I think 4 would have been good for Cloud9. Now you're kind of just hoping for the 3 and maybe 2 just because they're on pistols. They would have to enter another Thrifty, would have to have another Thrifty win. They got that. It's the gun rounds that they're currently not winning. Revealed by our drones. Getting shocked out as well. Gate crash is pretty deep though. Poise is in. Poise wants to get really aggro.
He could blow this play up. I mean, nobody knows that he's in this position. Zom's checking. He does get sideswiped, but you still have these defense members with weapons over through long. Sick will find 1 elimination on his re-entrance from the front. Poise trying to respond, not going to do it. So the trades are decent for Cloud9 Blue. Weapons will be collected just for Mitch for now, who does have the ability to use a resurrection if required, but not an opportunity to use it just based on where his friends have perished.
Cosmic Divide comes down, but Dapper's beating the timing, so Dapper's actually in front of the Cosmic Divide, can come through from Labs, and he's going to get taken down by Mitch, the only member of Cloud9 that actually had a gun. We'll take down Dapper on the flank. Sick now on his lonesome, 1 versus 3. Now Mitch is quite low. Doesn't look like he's got a heal just yet, so Mitch still on 16. No chance for a res on this side of the map. Both bodies of Cloud9 are over towards B. So Sick, can we isolate some 1v1s? First up towards the right is going to be Floppy. Angles there.
He does get the
I have
check.
to get this one. He needs to get this.
Second blast pack coming out, but help has arrived. Even though Sick finds one, Mitch there for the assistance, and a Thrifty comes by. That's the second round that they've been able to win. Both of them off of Thrifties so far. So just to kind of counter my initial point, talking about Cloud9 Blue doing so well with their economy throughout the upper bracket run that they put together, that has not been the case so far here on their offense. It's been 2 Thrifty rounds to get them on the scoreboard.
I'll say for that particular round as well, it's one of the few times the Sentinels don't have full hookah control. Poise obviously making an aggressive play with the gate crash working out, and was for Sentinels had no idea. So this is the part of Yoru's kit that is actually working so far for Cloud9, where, you know, that's the first time I think Poise has really made a play like that. I mean, he's been backside before, but that was off-dimensional rift, not the gate crash. A couple of members from Sentinels, in fact, quite a few, trying to walk down, finding the timing to Zeta. They thought that was safe because the slow orb, but it's not. I mean, Mitch slows long, and still you have Sentinels walking down.
Mitch will try to go right into the resurrection. Shazam clearing out through hookah, trying to get this Understeer to find anything. Dapper flash, but finds elimination before the effect largely takes away his vision. Now up to Zoms. We'll see players crossing, and does catch Floppy just before they can make way into the teleporter. So it will be a 2v3 situation. Spike an opportunity to be planted here, but the gravity well gets used at the absolute perfect time from Zoms. Mitch now taken down just to 23 HP. Well, he's actually been decayed, so an opportunity to regenerate some of that health. And it's a 1v2 now as he finds the first on the Dapper. And yep, I was just about to say the TP is free for him to use, and that's exactly what will happen. Gravity well will lock him in place for a little bit, but he should still be to get this spike planted.
See how much heal he can get. The problem is he's not going to plant here. Doesn't trust the timing. We'll get the time of the Zombs. Maybe that's more important. Getting the kill for the 1v1.
30 seconds left.
And possibly another TP. Ring around the rosary. No! And Sick finds the angle. No! Oh, this time, Mitch. Can't go through a TP a second time in a row. Just got to plant, my friend, but... what an angle, Sick. I have a bar of it.
Oh, man. Teasing with teleporters featuring Mitch. And, you know, there's so many rounds early on where Cloud9, you think that they have the opportunity to lock things down. This round in particular was looking really good for Cloud9. You get the spike planted, you're able to get a couple of even trades, and your post plant, which you try to lock through long, just gets completely imploded. It's just so surprising to see, because that's not something that we've really witnessed from Cloud9 whatsoever throughout their upper bracket run so far, and maybe a bit of a product of playing around with the compositions a touch, and the fact that we haven't seen them play on Bind yet, so who knows?
It's only been like 2 times, I believe, that Cloud9 have actually planted at round number 1 on the pistol in the round 3. Beyond that, it's all come down to frags. He's down early again. His first death stat's not going to be looking great today. Ten's just walking on through. This pistol's already looking pretty fire. Zeta, though, has something to say about it. 2 kills.
And Floppy's recovered hookah all of a sudden. Mitch is trying to work his way over. The doors closed at a perfect moment for Zeta as he found himself the 2 eliminations to get us to a 3v3. Dapper trying to make sure that hookah stays contested by way of utility will allow the rest of his members to move on forward and likely get a spike planted. And they will try to plant this on the back side of the site. So Cloud9 still forced to find a full retake. And even beyond that, look how far out Dapper is playing. He's all the way in the defensive spawn, making sure that there are no other players that are rotating.
We've swapped sides. This is like Sentinels are defending again. We really, you know, gone the other way just yet. Sentinels get a defend B. Spike's been planted their way. Sick is quite low, though. There's been a couple of frags going both sides. That's just the 1v2, but 6 on 4 HP.
And Floppy does get tagged up. He was on 100 health, but the shots from the backside from Dapper make this about an even fight. Health pool wise and Sick just around the back. Never expected. Floppy falls, and Sentinels, they take both pistols here on Bind.
And that might be, you know, nail in the coffin for Cloud9. You know, for any chance of Cloud9 making a comeback, and a 2-10 comeback is just very difficult. And that's an understatement, really. You don't normally see a 2-10 comeback. They would be required to win the pistol to then go towards the anti-eco and then further snowball. But here, with 11 found, both pistols going the way of Sentinels. Is this going to be a force maybe coming through for Cloud9? Yeah, it is. They have to, I mean, they know there's not a lot of rounds left to play. Could this screw them economy-wise? Sure, but if there's any chance to make a comeback, you can't allow Sentinels to just get 12, so you must force.
Early toggle of positioning over through showers, in which actually the Yoru of Poise is going to come from behind this. Zeta finds one, Shazam responds, but overall, the aggressive defensive play through showers is successful for Cloud9 to get early numbers.
Yeah, I mean, Ten's got pinched there, and Shazam as well, trying to rescue the situation, gets killed. They only trade Poise. And for what is a force buy on Cloud9, that's pretty decent to get numbers in their favor. Good tag. And Zeta do anything about it, though. Has to get Sick down first. Doesn't realize that Sick is already there. So the double play from Sentinels will recover 1 kill. Now it's back to a 3v3.
Massive trade for Sentinel. Still a lot of time to work with as well, which I think is the key. Also keep in mind where this toxic screen is positioned for this potential offensive hit over towards A. You've got Mitch trying to watch this with a Marshall. Star will actually take care of that as the Nebula will block his line of sight. Screen goes down, Boombot goes out. Zombs moves forward. Not going to find too much with this. Floppy holding outside of Lamps. Will find one, will get himself a second. That's the spike carrier down. And the last hope is a 5 health member of Dapper who's still trying to rotate over.
Zoms was hoping nobody was hiding around the exit of Lamps, and unfortunately there was. So Fluffy with the double kill there, Leaf to clean up the third, and Cloud9 will hang on towards A. They will hold on. The hopes for Bind. And this is where you're going to see Sentinels eco. So opportunity for Cloud9 to start getting a move on with this economy. They can get 4 here, take care of Sentinels on their buy round. Suddenly Cloud9 are interaction. But this really starts for me where Cloud9 on that last round get aggressive on towards 10s. They do the shower pinch. They get a player advantage. They trade Poise for 2. Have a 4v3. They might drop 1. They still hold on towards A, and that's important.
It's still a dicey round here from Cloud9 Blues POV, and aggression is actually going to come through once more for their defense. One of the things we largely saw from them in their prior maps was the fact that they love to kind of hit the extremities of the map quickly, but this time it's largely shut down by Sentinels. Sheriff's lighting things up. Zeta kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place here, but Floppy will rotate onto the site to hopefully give him a bit of assistance, and well, he's actually feeling confident enough to even pull up the Aldrum, but immediately cancels it as Tens finds one more connection through Hookah, and that leads to numbers now for Sentinels in a 4v2.
It's going to come down to Mitch, who hasn't rotated over towards B. Is able to stay over on this side, misses the headshot. They know he's there now. There's a wall available. What can you do with it? Toxin Screen is making this a lot more difficult. This is not the ideal weapon. Shazam's on his way over. Should be able to find this kill. With only 1 play remaining, Zeta has to be the hero. 1 versus 4 with the Spectre, and Sentinels for what was around. They only came in with 1 gun. That's Spectre for second. 4 pistols. I mean, they're on a roll here. Sentinels can take 12.
Zeta's going to be tested early. Finds the first cleanly as well, mind you. Does he expect the second? Not as much. Dapper with the frenzy, holds down the trigger, finds the kill, and puts Sentinels on their first map point. Get best of 5, no map advantages or anything of the nature. It is just first purely to 3. Sentinels darn close to being the first one on the board.
Well, good news for Cloud9 is they can get guns here. They're not going to get full armor. There's going to be missing utility across the board as well, but this is the best they can hope for. Poise onto the Bucky. Poise has had a rough run so far on this Yoru, and I mean, that's going to have to be sent straight back to the lab, and you'd love to see Yoru come into the meta where he's useful, but just currently not the pick, man, not the play. So, Cloud9, can there be any recovery? We're expecting Sentinels here to really take down Bind, and after this, you know, it'll be Cloud9 thinking, maybe we shouldn't have gone to Bind, but that'll be in the past. Gate crashes all the way into towards Elbow, so you can see Poise get aggressive over to Hookah, and then maybe TP away.
This utility coming out of Sick is tickling the Cloud9 defenders, but Mitch... not interested in tickles, because comes through for the headshot, finding first blood for Cloud9. Still staying a touch aggressive. Good information off the recon bolt that Shazam is still lingering towards the outsides. Zoms. Oh, actually, he finds one, grabs the second incredibly. He was actually trying to still do a little bit of star dancing going through, picking up his utility, but gets the gut up at just the nick of time, finds a couple eliminations, and now Sentinels on their way through Hookah, but they have to get through Floppy. They will spend 1 member to do that. 2v2 we go. Plant should be good.
Hunt is very available though, so can that be used? There it is, Zeta trying to stop the plant. We'll get a tag, a second. It's got to get the kill, and that's going to be Spike on the floor. That opens up the round entirely for Cloud9. The fact that Zeta gets a timing on this Hunter's Fury, having built it up over the past couple of rounds, Dapper now, does he have the confidence to plant this one? He has no idea where Cloud9 is. He's just got to go for this one. And it's going to be able to get it down, in the sense where Cloud9 aren't in position to stop him anymore. With the Viper's pit being played, this 1 versus 2 from Dapper is certainly possible.
He's going to go the long way around. You see that smoke integrity? Halfway down. Both players to 1 HP off the decay. And he's completely wrapped. He's gonna find one for free. Where's the last? Not able to keep the pit up. So Mitch will get a little bit of regen. Toggles for the spike. Dapper sees his ponytail, but not gonna make a difference. Mitch still clutches things up. 3 kills in the round for him. And Cloud9 still on the map.
And part of me thinks, could Dapper have just touched the Viper Spit a little bit, keep the integrity up? Because he gets Zeta down. But with Mitch inside, I mean, he'd still be on 1 HP. The Viper Spit goes down and Mitch starts healing back the decay. And at that point, if he's got enough HP, there's no way for Dapper to one-shot him. And Dapper would have to find that headshot. Couldn't quite hit it. Mitch saves the day. In that last 1v1, gets some tempo res onto Zeta as well, just to keep the gun in hand, which is important for Cloud9 because their money situation is still not the best. So Sentinels nearly closed out the map on that round. It's going to get delayed at least a little bit longer. Cloud9 still trailing by 8 rounds, so not going to call the Cloud9 comeback yet. They have a lot to play through before that conversation gets started.
Leaf made vulnerable. That'll be good for first blood for Sentinel. Still trying to push through this. Flash comes through, but Tens is able to stay safe from that Zombs as well. Able to keep things even on the trades. One more flash out. But Sick is going to be able to pull out the showstopper to get the instant elimination. Even the Nova Pulse coming down, trying to slow things up, but Floppy will find themselves in a 1v multiple situation, trying to hold on to the site. Mitch, similarly so, on the opposite angle towards A, will be trusted to try to do something individually. Sentinels have hit the brakes for a time, but here comes their next approach, and it will be fully on towards B, with the only exception being Dapper, who's going to lurk around through A.
Now, Floppy saved rounds before. I mean, you see the play that he made over towards A into Lamps previously. Floppy can definitely be capable of turning numbers around. Cosmic Divider's available, but they need more positioning at this point. That Asher Ultimate's not going to help them at all. C9 Mitch has revealed his positioning, but I think Floppy is still unknown.
There's the divide, comes through. Mitch has no idea where he's being tagged up from. It's Tapper from behind. Looking for the trade with the Bulldog is Floppy, but down to 11 HP. Here comes the trade. Sick finds it, no problem, and Sentinels will strike.